Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and one other thing, that I wanted to talk about, and it seems to be a interesting situation in the dirt racing world. The non-wing sprint car midget scene, USAC, Extreme Outlaw Midget Series. They tried the sprint car series. Apparently, that is no longer in existence. But we did have some schedules come out today. Right here, we see the USAC NOS Energy Drink National Championship schedule. You got Kokomo, Belleville, the short track at Belleville, which that's pretty cool to see them going back. Got Midget Week in Indianapolis. Then you got an Oklahoma Midwest Swing for 2 weekends. Illinois, you go to Wisconsin one time. You go to Eldora for the 4 Crown. But something that's very interesting, I want y'all to pay attention to the payouts. One thing that is really suffering in the non-wing community, and a lot of people would agree and say that the non-wing community is full of some of the baddest ass race car drivers taking the biggest risk in the world, being in a non-wing sprint car or a midget. Whoever has went to the 4 Crown in a midget, that almost is it's a very intense situation to watch. I can only imagine what it's like to be on the track in those little bitty cars going as fast as they are. But the payout for non-wing sprint car racing and USAC midget racing is just, horrible in comparison to wing sprint car racing for one, and definitely in comparison to USMTS modifieds. This is the USMTS 2023 schedule right here. These type of modifieds. This is the biggest series for these type of modifieds in the world. $100,000 championship points title, nearly $2 million in purse money and prize money, 9 shows paying $10,000 to win, 2 $11,000 to win contests, and a $12,000 to win. 2 races paying $15,000, and there's 2 other races that looks like paying $20,000 and $25,000. Look at this, and this is to run modifieds, and I don't think anyone out there is going to say that running a USMTS modified is just as dangerous, just as threatening, or just as easy to drive. I know Jake Neal, a driver I talked to, he went and ran USAC at Paris, non-wing car, and said it was one of the hardest cars he's ever driven in his life. Yeah, I guess the only thing that's good with the midget series is that they, somewhat coincided and got a schedule together, hopefully as good as High Limit in the World of Outlaws can do, but they got a schedule here that apparently they don't clasp onto either series. I mean, obviously this would be World Racing Group's nightmare, what they did to USAC. They said they're just going to run a select few events in 2022, and then now this year they're rolling out a gigantic large schedule. So maybe they're worried about High Limit doing that to them with the wing sprint car situation, but all these 4,000, 5,000 to wins, 4,000, 4,000, 5,000 as well. Mainly carrying, it looks like just as much of a traveling schedule. Missouri, Illinois, North Carolina, PA. They actually take the midgets to the PA swing. USAC midgets not doing the PA swing. And it's just interesting to see that because these shows right here at Clyde Martin Memorial, Action Track, and Linda's are going to be amazing racing. But USAC choosing to not make the swing. You got Oklahoma in here. Iowa's in here. They go to Davenport. Indiana, of course. I mean, so it's interesting to see the midgets work together here, but still not getting that payout like the USMTS modified boys do. And it's pretty sad. And then you go to the sprint car side of things. 2 shows that I did see perk up on the schedule that catches my eye is Rocket Raceway. Petty, that's a badass racetrack. That's going to be an amazing, amazing show. And that's what the ASCS Elite Non-Wing Series there at Rocket Raceway, and then 2 nights at Devil's Bowl. That'll be entertaining. All 3 of those shows down there in Texas. So I am happy to see that. That's a very great addition to the schedule. Eldora is going to be good. You got Circle City in there. You got a return to Knoxville. They go to Bridgeport. They do a PA swing with the sprint cars. They go up into Wisconsin once. It looks like just once. Besides that, Indiana, Illinois, and then apparently ending the year in Oklahoma, which will be interesting to see. That'll be interesting to see, but the USAC sprint car schedule, once again, we go over here to the win column, and I guess since nobody supported Huset's when they were paying $20,000 to win. You don't see that on the schedule. The Hobstadt Hustler getting an increase to $20,000. Lawrenceburg getting a $20,000 to win show there at the end of the Fall Nationals. A $30,000 to win at the Kokomo SmackDown, so that's great. That's good, but no Huset's. I'm not seeing Huset's. Double checking here. Mainly $5,000 to win shows. Looks like a little $8,000 to win in Knoxville. But besides that, I mean, the most considered by most, the most dangerous race car to be in on a dirt track, some of the greatest racing, and according to Jake Neal, a USMTS driver, former driver, I believe he races when he can, and late model driver, a USAC sprint car being the most difficult race car he's ever driven in his life. Crazy, scary. This is what we get. And this is why Tyler Courtney and all these other guys, the Wyndhams and non-wing traditionalist race car drivers, are trying to get into wing sprint car racing mainly for winnings. Now, this ain't too bad of a schedule considering the travel that you would have to do. But anyways, that's just me. Look at these different schedules. Look at these different series. Pay attention to USMTS. There's a lot of money to be made over there. The racing is great. And it's kind of in that same level. I think the non-wing stuff is kind of below the wing stuff right now. I think socially modified racing is viewed as below late model racing. And payout-wise, they're kind of on that same second tier level as far as pay and earnings in racing on dirt. I think the late models and the wing sprint cars are one step ahead of them in that payout category. But USMTS is definitely closer to getting up there. And modifieds kind of do deserve that respect. They're not as fast as the late models, but the fields that they have at those events and the difficulty it takes to win in those events are definitely tier 1 competition and just difficulty to obtain that win. It's a tier 1 system for sure. Tell me what you think. Leave a comment below. And that's kind of what we got to say today. A lot of stuff coming out at PRI. We'll talk about it as it continuously comes out. But until then, next video, subscribe, and we will see you at the next playback. This is how we ride. This is how we do.